Greetings, this is Scotty Reed of Black Talk Radio Network, and I just wanted to do a video. This is actually my second attempt at making this video. I tried to do one through YouTube, and for whatever reason, it failed to process the video. So here's my second stab at it, so to speak. But anyway, I wanted to comment on the brainwashing of the American people in their celebrations on the 4th of July. Chris Rock, in case you have not heard, has been facing some criticism for a tweet that he sent out to his followers over his Twitter account, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he said something to the effect of Happy White People's Independence Day. The slaves were not free, but I'm sure that they enjoyed the fireworks. And so he caught a little bit of heat from some people on Twitter for sending out that comment. And so, you know, that just tells me that you have a lot of ignorant people in the United States if they want to criticize a black person for not wanting to partake in the hype surrounding the 4th of July. And really, the vast majority of white people in this country, if they really knew the truth or understood what the American Revolution was really about, then, you know, they wouldn't be so quick to celebrate it either. Okay? And so the American Revolution started in 1775. You will hear a lot of people talking about it was fought for liberty and freedom from oppression of the British Crown, and that's a lie. The American Revolution was started when the British Crown passed the Stamp Act of 1773, I think it was, but it was passed prior to the start of the American Revolution. In fact, it was the cause of the American Revolution, as there's this famous slogan or phrase that you may hear connected to the 4th of July, talking about taxation without representation. You know, what's happening to the people in the District of Columbia right now and many of the American colonies that we also see America still in possession of. So anyway, it was a war that was started by rich white people. I was watching PBS the other day, and they had this historian on, and they were talking about the 56 people or men, white men, who signed the Declaration of Independence, and that Americans know very little about them. Well, that's on purpose. That's, you know, that's on purpose. You know about Thomas Jefferson. Everybody know he was a slave owner, and he raped his slave and fathered children by her. I think her name was Sally Heming. They know about Samuel Adams, and I think his name is John Adams. Then the guy John Hancock, you know, because there's this thing about, you know, when people asking you for your signature, they might say, let me get your John Hancock. And so on PBS, they were talking about, you know, the rest of the men who signed the Declaration of Independence. And so this historian went on to describe them. He said that they were career politicians up until that point of the American Revolution, doctors, lawyers, and then he said the rest made their money through agriculture, and he was really like stumbling over his words to give a politically correct answer. And he was saying, you know, they own farms and plantations, and you know, that was the vast majority of them. And so what he left out was that on those plantations they had slaves. You can't automatically assume that people are going to know that. Okay, but the vast majority of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were rich white people, or as we know them today, as they're referred to today as the 1%. And so after the 7-year war, which Britain fought with other world powers during that time, they, you know, won North America, so to speak, where the colonies were established, and they kept British troops here to protect the colonists. I guess from those Native Americans who were mad that you were stealing their land and all of that. And but also I guess from any other invasions from the other world powers that they had just beat in the 7-year war. Well, it cost money to station those troops, just like it cost us a whole bunch of money to station troops all over the globe to subsidize the defenses of other countries. But I don't want to go off on a tangent and get off track here. And so the British Crown passed the Stamp Act. Well, actually, it was the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act, which was to raise money to pay for the deployment of these British troops here in America, and they felt like the colonists should at least pay a portion of it since they were the chief beneficiaries from the 7-Year-Old War and were being protected by these British troops. And so they didn't want to pay their taxes. I mean, we hear that today. You look at Mitt Romney. This guy only is a multi-millionaire, yet he only pays 15% income tax, when the vast majority of people in the United States who are employed pay upwards of 35%. It's just not fair. Okay, so the American Revolution was not started for liberty and freedom. No, it was started because a bunch of one percenters didn't want to pay taxes to the British crown, just like they are today. So don't believe the hype, don't believe the propaganda, and you need to educate yourself and educate the children. So black people have a number of reasons of why we don't get all excited about the 4th of July. It's just a day off from work for us, or time to visit family or go do whatever we want to do. And so those who do celebrate Independence Day, you're celebrating a lie. It was not fought for your independence. Chances are, if you were white, the vast majority of your ancestors who came here probably came here as indentured servants to the 1%. Also, if you're black, then of course we know we came over here in the holds of slave ships. And here's another interesting thing, and it kind of again parallels with what's going on today. Those plantation owners didn't even serve in the American Revolution that was being fought, so they didn't have to pay taxes. All right. They could get a deferment, if you will, like so many other one percenters do today, that we've heard about, the chicken hawks who want to send everybody else to war, but they never been to war themselves, and their kids don't go to war. But they could substitute a slave in their place to fight for them in the militias that the colonists had. And so, I mean, just think about how cowardly that is. And yeah, they probably bribed them and said, if you go fight in the revolution, if you survive, then I'll free you when you get back. I hope that they kept their word, but I highly doubt that they did, being that they were the slave owning scumbuckets that they were. And so, people just need to know the truth and stop getting all upset because when somebody talks about the truth, it doesn't fit the lies and the propagandas that's been drilled into your head all your life. Okay, just accept the truth for what it is. You've been programmed. You've been programmed to celebrate a war that benefited the 1%. And just like all the wars that America finds itself in today, that the American average citizen foots the bill for. But anyway, that's my rant on the issue. This is Scotty Reed signing off. Visit us online at blacktalkradionetwork.com.